Dom DeMarco.
Freshandfit Moneyclips. Catch the latest insight from Myron Fresh and special guest Jaden Bloom on starting a car rental business and more. Presented by Moneyclips. Like and subscribe now on YouTube for a quick hit of knowledge. For the full-length podcast, dive into Rumble and YouTube. Don't miss out. Stay informed and join the journey with Myron Fresh and Jaden Bloom on the Fresh and Fit Podcast Money Monday Show.
Further ado, welcome Jaden Bloom from Mercy Luxury, brother. Welcome to the show.
Bro. Thank you for having me.
How's it going?
How are you guys?
Dom DeMarco.
Not bad, man. It's Money Monday, bro.
Let's get it.
Today's
Monday,
topic,
Monday.
car rental business. So tell us about your childhood, how you came up, how you got into the car space.
For sure. So, long story short, I'm from Vancouver, Canada, born and raised. My parents are from South Africa originally. They immigrated to Canada in 1994. I was born in 97. They came with nothing. My dad had $1,000 in his pocket when he came over there.
Yeah.
And I remember growing up, I mean, my dad was working 3 jobs at once, going to school. When I was 4 or 5 years old, I remember so vividly seeing all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw him start from nothing, build, and he became very successful for himself. So from a young age, man, I knew I was going to be an entrepreneur. I've been around it my whole life. Went to school, hated school, never did well, never got really good grades, went to college. I have an arts degree. I actually have a major in criminology. Kind of interesting.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So I was thinking about law school, and I've always been interested in like the criminal stuff. So I thought it was going to be kind of cool. But yeah, man, I never really enjoyed school, and I just been around an entrepreneur my whole life. So I was like, yeah, I need to do something entrepreneurial. That's where my passion is. But I never knew what it was. So did all that.
So why Florida and why cars?
So Florida, I visited Miami in 2021 a little bit and just absolutely loved it down here. The weather, how fast paced it is.
The girls.
The cars.
Yeah.
But I just fell in love with it, man. And after COVID, Canada, I knew I needed to leave Canada. Canada just used to be such a good country. Our dollar used to be stronger than the US dollar at one point.
Bro, it's so bad now, bro.
It is terrible. Damn. COVID was kind of the tipping point for me. So COVID happened. I actually left Canada during COVID. I went down to Mexico for 2 months because it was fully open. Worked down there. I was just living down there. And just came to Miami and loved it down here. But cars, I've been a car guy my whole life. My dad's a big car guy too. So like the entrepreneurial side, I saw the car side. He never really had nice cars when I was, younger, but same as, his businesses getting better and better.
Yeah.
His cars started getting better and better. And just always been super fascinated around that. But yeah, just love cars my whole life and are brand new. And speaking about Ask Smart Advantages, we're actually giving away an Ask Smart Advantage right now.
Yes, we are actually. So funny story. I met these guys a couple months ago. I seen their business model. I seen how they operate. Very honest guys with integrity. And I was like, yo, bro, how do we get back to people that support us? Freshandfit, Mercy Luxury. And we decided to do a giveaway of one of our cars. So there's a clip actually we could play, if you don't mind, Bills, on the page whenever you're ready. Okay. It's the reel. Yeah, the reel, yeah.
Guys, it's your boy Fresh from Freshandfit Podcast. Today we're giving away an Ask Them Our Bet. That is right. You get a free car, trip to Miami, and take in your car. Who can beat that? It's pretty simple. $2 to enter. That's it. Click the link in the bio. See you guys in there.
So I knew Miami was a really hot market for exotic car rentals. And if I'm being honest with you, this wasn't a business. I never thought this business was going to get to where it was now. Connor and I started as a side hustle. We had 2 cars. I had a BMW on a lease. That was my only personal car. He had a BMW. We said, you know what? Cars are hot in Miami. People are renting all the time. Let's sell them on Turo. Let's see what happens. And they were making good money. They're paying for themselves every single month. Turo was sending us clients. We weren't making a whole lot. Very hard to build a business on Turo.
Real quick, what is Turo for the audience that doesn't know?
So it's like a rental car platform. So you can list your personal car on Turo, and they provide their own insurance. They take a big cut, so they take 25% of your revenue. But they bring you clients. So it's kind of like Airbnb. You can post your car, people can scroll, they see your pricing, they want to book it, they book it. So
can you tell us the upside and downside of using Turo instead of like your own company?
For sure. So very hard to build your business on Turo. There's a lot of competition. It's very saturated. So prices you can get in the private market, you can't get on Turo. They're a lot cheaper. And then, like I said, Turo just has a lot of fees. They take a pretty high percentage. You can only pay credit card. They have age restrictions on certain cars. So Connor's M5, nobody could rent that under the age of 25.
Wow.
And 90% of our demographic was under the age of 25.
Right.
So it really killed a large part of our, potential clientele.
I think for any young guy that's coming up in the car scene, you start with a BMW. At least that's what we want to get to, at least.
100%. They're easy cars to get into.
Yeah.
They have it's very, like for me, my first lease was a BMW, $0 down, and I paid like $900 a month for it. I was renting it on Turo for $200 a day, and it was going on 15 days a month.
And just for the audience to understand, because Fresh, you didn't mention this, that you guys are actually business partners and you guys do the car rental stuff together.
Yes.
Just for the audience to understand, because they're probably trying to figure out, like, wait, what's going on here? So, yeah, Fresh and Jaden work together, guys, with their car rental business. Jaden started off, and then I think you brought Fresh on as a partner, if I'm not mistaken. Is that pretty much what happened?
Yeah, so we connected in the valet.
Okay.
And Fresh has his Cullinan, and we just started kind of pushing that.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, he kind of saw the potential of the business. He kind of saw the people that I was able to meet on a daily basis just from this business alone. I mean,
the networking is incredible.
I'm sure.
Like I'm into like obviously going to events, making connections, but having the cars as an asset towards meeting people is key because listen, you meet celebrities, you meet people that are business people that are from out of state, come into Florida. They don't have a nice car to drive around, and they're very well educated too as well. So it's like you meet a variety of people from cars alone.
100%. My whole network down here is pretty much from Mercy Luxury. I mean, Floyd Mayweather got invited to his private party over the weekend.
Okay.
It was fun, by the way.
I know, I should have gone.
Yeah.
But that is somebody I would have never been able to get in touch with or in contact with without the cars.
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather, a lot, like Richie, his manager, literally knows everybody. He'll send us whoever we want.
Yeah.
And we'll tell them, hey, bro, can you set this up? We'll give him a car for free. And he makes it happen. So, I mean, just the cars alone. Because before I came to Miami, I had no personal brand really.
Yeah.
People didn't know who I was. But the cars have really given me an insane personal brand in such a short amount of time that I didn't even see coming.
I think for a regular person, if you can get access to these cars, even for example, you're getting a loan or having a business itself, that doors that opens up for you is incredible, bro. I'm telling you. It's amazing. So question for you, Jaden. In terms of like rental companies, what's the upsides and downsides of this business, for example? The benefits and downsides?
For sure. So obviously, one of the benefits we touched on, the networking is by far number one for me. I personally think this is a business I'm always going to keep around because of the people I get to meet and have access to. Obviously, the upside, the cash flow is incredible. We've really perfected our business model where now we don't really buy cars ourselves. We just get investors to either give us cars or purchase cars for us. And people think that's extremely hard to do. It's the easiest part of the business. People every single day are messaging me, hey, bro, I have these Urus. I'm paying $4,000 a month. Can you guys rent it out for me? Hey, bro, I'm saving on a bit of capital. I'm interested in getting a vehicle. What do you guys need? I had an NBA player hit me up the other day. He played in the NBA. He's playing in Tel Aviv right now. But exact same thing. He said, bro, I've been watching you for a little bit. I've seen you blow up. I'm ready to get you a car. So I think he's going to get us an S580 Maybach. We're working on that right now. But people all the time are asking me what cars we need. And I'm actually closing the doors for investors because we have too many
cars now at this point.
We're at about 35 cars. And I would say like 23, 24 stay here at the SLS with us.
Okay.
So people will just be like, here's my car, send me money every month, and that's it.
And bro, you're being humble, man. I would say right now, Mercy's like the top luxury rental car business in Miami. 100%.
I think
that's
so
known.
too.
That's known.
Yeah, I think
marketing-wise.
For sure. We're definitely up there with MPH Club and MVP. I think we have more cars than them. We're definitely doing the same numbers revenue-wise. And I'm working on a car this week. Hopefully it's coming this week or next week. That's just we're just going to take over with this car. We're going to be the first ones in.
You don't want to say what it is?
Nah, I don't want to jinx it.
Let's say it's a very special Lamborghini.
Let's just say it's a Lambo the Fresh used to have.
Yeah.
So if you guys can put that together,
SVJ
you guys
or something probably.
SVJ.
SVJ, yeah.
So there's only one company in the US that had one, Royalty Exotics.
Shout out to Houston, by the way.
Houston, huge YouTuber, has like 1 million subs.
Yeah.
They are the only company in the United States that had an SVJ, and the marketing alone behind with that car is just incredible.
Okay.
And that's kind of where I was touching on with the investors. And investors purchased that car for us, $630,000, and he's gonna put like $150 down and just boom, rentals.
But that speaks to the faith of and the belief behind the company, because if that type of money is going into cars alone, the revenue share is amazing. Cash flow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He already has 2 cars with us that are doing really, really well. So he's not even concerned about getting a car of that extent because he's already seeing he has 2 cars worth about $400,000. They're out every single day. So for him, it's like, you know what? I already know these 2 cars are doing well. I know this car's going to do well. It's, there's no risk. And insurance is always covered when the cars go out. So there's really no risk to these cars. Obviously, if something happens to a car like that, it sucks. It's going to depreciate if it hits the Carfax. But we make up for that on the insurance side of things.
Yeah.
You could charge a way top dollar, right?
Exactly.
And assuming like since you guys charge so much per day, they probably only keep it for a few days at most, right?
Exactly.
Right.
And all they want to do is flex. So they're not even putting a lot of miles on these cars as well.
Yeah.
They're
driving in this local area.
Exactly. And I hate it's the Miami culture. They want to go pull up to Poppy Steak Valet,
Let's be
pull
honest,
some
bro.
bad bitches, and then that's
they get the car, they pull it to, let's say, even Gecko. They pull it Sexy Fish.
Yeah.
Park there, go to the club, and go back home. That's pretty much it, bro.
Yeah.
That's it.
So very low risk for you guys.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Interesting.
But to be honest, when I first started this business, like every business, right? You go through the headaches, you go through the ups and downs to really perfect your systems. So when we first started blowing up in the summer months are a little slow down here. So we're getting a lot of local clientele. And down here, the local clientele are the guys that are going to cause the most issues.
Yeah.
So we were getting guys renting Urises for 2 days, putting 700 miles on the car. I mean, I'll be transparent. I had 2 situations where I had to, because we have kill switches in all of our cars.
Oh, shit,
I had to kill the engine and go pick the car up because I thought something shady was going on. And you learn all these things, right? You get your feet wet. The only way to learn is through experience, I personally think. So we experienced all of that. We learned, and now we only have very solid clientele, like high-end, like black AMX kind of clientele, which is awesome.
So you guys are not renting out cars to just anybody anymore?
No, we do like thorough background checks. We really make sure, even if somebody has like a criminal history from years ago, we won't rent to them. It's just not worth the headaches.
Like I had a guy that's pretty famous that wanted a car, and he told him no because things weren't in order. He had no insurance.
And that's another thing. A lot of people do no insurance down here. No insurance, no
deposit. Does the rental
deposit.
company have insurance or?
No.
So they need their own insurance.
Yeah, so the way it works in here, which is how everybody does it, is it's super hard to get commercial fleet insurance for exotic cars. That is another issue with Turo, is I personally can't list a car for $75,000 in value. They won't accept it.
Oh.
Their insurance company that's on board with them won't cover any car over 75K. So that's another thing I wanted to say. Turo is great if you have one or two cars, like a Tesla Model 3, lower end cars that you're not using and you just want to make a little bit extra on the side on top of your current income. Turo is great for that. But if you want to build an actual business, like an actual fleet, an actual rental car company, Turo is not the place you want to do that on. It's just too difficult, and you will not make good money, and you will not scale
Profit
that quickly.
margins are low, too many rules, saturated. Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
And then you can't use higher end cars, which are the ones that you're able to demand the most top dollar for.
Exactly.
So let me ask you this then. So if someone, because obviously people are watching this right now and they're like, well, damn, this is great for you guys, but I don't got fucking 5 Lamborghinis that I can rent out to Floyd Mayweather and his friends. If someone wanted to get started, right, and they wanted to maybe rent some of the cars that they have, maybe they have an extra Jeep in the house somewhere, maybe they got a Jeep Compass, a Mercedes C-Class, like these more entry-level luxury or regular type cars, and they wanted to kind of do this as a side hustle, how would they go about it?
So obviously what I recommend is start on Turo, because that's going to give you the best experience in terms of like what goes into renting a car from A to Z. The goal is to get off Turo as quickly as possible.
Okay.
So you want to get your feet wet on Turo, kind of learn the business, because the business off Turo is very similar, right? Clients will either pick the car up, you'll go deliver, you'll make sure the car is good, you do their inspections. Something that Turo does, which is really good for people starting out, is they make you take like 30 photos of the car and they make you post it on the app.
Okay.
So it kind of teaches you, okay, what to look for in your before photos and after photos, because if you don't do your inspection properly and something happens on a rental, there's no way you can charge the client because you have no prior proof.
About prior examples where people picked up cars, but then when they brought them back, they were like actually like damaged.
Yeah, I've had some of my guys, because I have a full team now. My business is pretty much automated. I don't do anything but work with investors, marketing, grow the business. The day-to-day operations are completely automated. I have a full team that handles that. And sometimes my guys will miss, pictures, like something will happen, something so small, but there's no documentation. We got to come out of pocket, and it's a huge issue. And it happens sometimes, for sure. Like Cullinan came back. It was my other guys. I have a gray Cullinan. Came back with scratches all on the front by the grill, on the wrap. And to redo that wrap is going to cost at least $2,500. And he didn't think to like document up top, on top of the wrap, because most of the damage that happens to these cars are rims. Rims were basically the only thing that really happens. Rim scuffs.
Yeah.
And if something like a fender bender were to happen, we just hit the insurance, because the deposit wouldn't be able to cover that. But so I guess he kind of missed taking a video up top, and then we had to come out of pocket and fix the wrap.
So I would wager it's like a checklist you got to follow
Exactly.
for each car, so you get the best out of getting the car back.
Exactly, because the last thing you want to do is having to come out of pocket on something that.
So Turo kind of holds your hand and tells you where to take these photos specifically to avoid these issues.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's a great way to, I guess, get the training wheels in and like figure out how to go about this from the beginning. But you're saying, what would you say people should? How long should they stay on Turo before they say, it's time to transition out of there?
I'd say once you get above 2-3 cars, try and get off.
Okay.
Especially if you have the goal of scaling and getting more cars.
Okay. So 2 to 3, get off there.
Exactly. And one thing we were doing to try and get off Turo is everybody that would rent from us, we would hit them privately and say, hey, just letting you know, we can rent to you privately. We're growing our private rental car company. We're going to, you get hit with fees, we get hit with fees. We can eliminate all those fees. There's no age restrictions, et cetera, et cetera.
You get a better price.
Better price.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we can charge a little bit more, and still it's going to be cheaper than Turo.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of it as well.
So, okay. And then the other thing you mentioned as well with Turo, with the benefits is like they kind of handle the marketing for you, because you're able to advertise your car in their marketplace, which obviously has a lot of eyeballs. But what you're able to do is convert those people over to your private side.
Exactly. The nice thing with Turo too is obviously every rental, people will give it a 5-star review, right?
Yeah.
So the more reviews you have, the higher they push it to the top. So the more people that rent, the more better reviews you have. You're just going to be sitting at the top all day, and people are going to rent from you all day.
Is it possible to have your Turo profile still active with your 2 or 3 best cars there, while simultaneously still running your business on the side, and I guess drawing people from Turo over to your private business, so that you kind of get this influx of people always coming in because you're getting fresh clients?
100%. And we still do that. We have about 5-6 cars listed on Turo for the marketing purposes, for them to come off of Turo and rent from us privately. And it happens quite often.
But the problem is you don't depend on the app. If you depend on it solely and it messes up, you're screwed.
Gotcha. So the goal is get in with Turo, get your feet wet, get your 2 to 3 cars in there. Once you expand past 3, create your obviously your side business, and then try to pull as many people off of Turo to your private business. Because the thing is that what I've noticed with car rental companies, kind of like with hotels and shit like that, if they come to you the first time and you give them a good experience, they're more than likely going to use you every single
100%.
time, bro. That, like,
and
people
they
don't want to
refer
go,
people to you as well.
Yes,
exactly.
People don't like to go and try something new when it comes to hotels or whatever. When they go to a place that they've been before, they always go to the same people. So that would make sense that they would go and use you every time.
Mm-hmm. And also, here's the benefit too. Let's say we build a relationship, right, between myself and the company that rents me cars. Well, guess what? Let's say I want a car that's maybe higher price. Hey, bro, we're people. We work together all the time. Give me a discount. You might get a discount. You might get extra cars, whatever it may be. But that's the relationship you build with that person and the company.
So let me ask you this then, because obviously you guys are doing this at a way higher level with the luxury stuff. But for the regular people that are watching this, they're going to want to know this. What are some good entry level cars that people can start with that, you know, might not necessarily be luxury, but they're able to appeal to a wide array of different people that might want to rent from them?
For sure.
Very good.
So I think perfect entry level car is like a C63S.
Yeah.
You get a 2019.
okay.
Could you bring on a screen
Great
real
car.
quick, Bills?
Yeah, let's pull it up on
the
for
screen.
people.
What car that is?
Great car. You can get into it super easily. I mean, they're like anywhere from 45 to 60K right now.
Mercedes,
Convertible
right?
or,
C6
or coupe, you think? Convertible.
Mercedes C.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's still such a nice car. That car brand new goes for like $120,000-$130,000. You know, something I actually threw this reel up yesterday. It's actually kind of popping off right now.
Yeah.
Coupe. Mercedes C class C63.
Convertible.
Convertible. Okay.
I've been telling people, look for cars that have already depreciated 70-80%, because any maintenance that's going to come for that car isn't going to be the same as like buying a brand new car and it depreciating 50K. You might put 5-10K in maintenance into an older car, but you're going to lose 40-50K on a newer car, if that makes sense.
I can see why this would be a really good entry level car.
Yeah, and we actually have one in the fleet.
Okay.
So payment on that's like $1,000 a month, and that car goes out for $350-$400 a day. So you're talking 3 days and you're in the green. Imagine 15 days on that car.
Yeah.
So the car pays for itself and extra income.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. C3's a great car too.
The what?
The Corvette.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can get like a 1LT, which is a really solid car for like 45-50 grand.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really hot car down here. In any market really, it's like everybody calls it a poor man's Ferrari. It's such a beautiful car for such a low ticket.
A lot of people like Corvettes.
Yeah.
It's like
a lot.
You know, American muscle and everything else like that. So okay, so you would say, hey, if you want to start entry level Corvette, Mercedes C. What if they live in a more blue collar area? People don't want to be as flashy. What are some cars that they can get that?
So cars that are always solid too are like Suburbans, Escalades. So I have a few students right now that live in like seasonal areas.
Yeah.
Boston, Chicago,
New York City. Yeah.
New York City, and cars that I'm telling them to go for as their first and second cars are exactly that: Escalades, Suburbans, Tahoes, because those cars are going to go out in the winter and the summer.
Yep.
They're not seasonal dependent.
Yeah.
Whereas something like a C8, any sports car is going to be seasonal dependent. That's why the Lambos, the Ferraris do so well in Miami, is because you can drive them 12 months a year.
Yeah.
You know, and people come here with money to spend all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we also mention about getting new cars and why you shouldn't buy a new car? You made a video about that as well.
I did. It's actually popping off right now a little bit. But basically what I was saying is, when you buy new cars, it's going to depreciate no matter what, right? You buy a car 0 miles, even with 800 miles, it's depreciating, you know? So when you buy a car that's already depreciated a lot, you're basically buying it almost at the end of its depreciation cycle. So the only thing you got to worry about is maintenance. But even then, if you have a good mechanic and you're not taking the car to the dealer, because the dealer's always going to rinse you.
Yeah.
If you have a good mechanic, everything's going to be super cheap.
Okay. And I'm assuming you already have a mechanic in-house.
Everything.
Right. So would it be fair to say that once you get your 2 to 3 cars and you're making some money, you probably want a mechanic on the payroll immediately? That's the first thing you should get?
On the payroll, or just a really solid relationship with a good mechanic.
Someone that you can go to.
Can we go through the actual checklist for getting a car? Like, for example, trackers, insurance check.
For sure. So I'll give you an example. Right? When an investor gives us a car, first thing we do is get trackers on that car. So we usually put 2 GPS trackers and an engine kill switch.
Yeah.
Like I said, we've only had to use a kill switch maybe 2-3 times. for nothing's really ever happened. Just I thought something shady was going on, so I used it.
You thought they were gonna steal the car or something? Or?
Exactly. I kind of got like an inside scoop and that something was going on. So I just
Where was it at when you killed it?
Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, was it supposed to be up there or like?
It was, but I mean, yeah, there's a lot of sketchy areas out there too in Fort Lauderdale.
Sure. Yeah.
But there's been horror stories of people renting cars or renting out cars to people, and they drive to like Georgia or somewhere far away, and you never see that car
Pop
again.
Smoke did that shit.
There you go.
You drove it from like.
You see that?
Yeah, he went.
He shipped it
people
out.
don't know that he got indicted for that.
Yeah,
Yes, wow.
He rented a Wraith for a music video, and he shipped it from LA to New York.
Yeah, yeah. Did some
Savagery,
crazy
bro.
Shit like that, yeah.
Savage. But that's what we do. I mean, we do
That's
our
a nightmare for you guys.
Yeah, we do our verification checks like from A to Z. Like we have every single piece of documentation necessary from that person. So if they did something like that, I mean, we have their driver's license, their everything.
Okay.
You know, to really like go after them and make sure we get compensated.
Yeah.
Because people might be like, "Oh, bro, I got a car, bro. You're a friend. I'll give it to you, bro. You don't know what that person's gonna do, what they might be about."
So this is actually really important. So for some of you guys that want to start this, so when you acquire a new car, right? And you're like, you know what, I want to start this. Even if you put it on Turo or whatever it may be, do they need to do this even if they're on Turo, or do you suggest that they do this?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they should do it even on Turo.
Okay.
Just to be safe.
Yeah. So
When
does
you-
Turo require you to do this? Put
No.
these things
No.
in? Okay.
But you should for your own safety.
Okay. So you said 2 trackers, a kill switch. What else?
That's pretty much it.
Those
Yeah.
2 things. Okay.
And it runs you about $1,000 for that.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's not bad. That's pretty much your only startup
That's
cost.
your upfront cost.
Okay.
Yeah.
To throw it in the car. Any certain brands that they should get as far as like trackers or a certain kill switch that
So
they should get?
if they're local in Miami, I use iTrack. iTrack's the best. They're based out in Hollywood.
Shout out
Okay.
to Luis.
Yeah, Luis. He's
Awesome
done
guy.
awesome guy. He's probably done over 40 cars of mine.
Yep.
Okay.
Made him a lot of money. But yeah, he's solid. The best trackers. He really installs them properly.
Okay.
So I've had a few instances where I could tell people were looking for the trackers
Ah.
and they couldn't find them.
Oh, and he's putting 2 of them. So if they find one, there's another one.
Exactly.
Yep.
Oh shit! And then the kill switch. And it costs, you said, about $1,000 to get this all done.
About $1,000.
Okay. And iTrack, I'm assuming they put the kill switch in there too.
They do.
They do all of it.
Yeah, so they have different levels. Level 2 comes with two trackers and a kill switch. Level 1 is just like a tracker.
Okay.
But they have all the way up to level 5. So depending on what your risk tolerance is, like I've been doing this for so long, and I know I have such good clientele that I don't feel like I need to do a level 5
Okay.
or level 4. I'm good with the level 2. But if you're just starting out and you're building your clientele, and you know you have no prior experience, definitely get a level 4
Or
or
if
level
you're in a
5.
high crime area, maybe you're in Detroit, would it be better for you to get like a
Exactly. That's a good point too. If you're in a
Look at-
higher crime area, for sure.
Look at the point of view of the actual renter. Okay, this guy's green. He doesn't know too much about business. All right, bet. This is a Rolls Royce or a Mercedes. Oh, I could take this car and just dip. They would if they could.
Yeah,
Free car.
it's crazy. Some of my competitors, I'm not going to name them, but I've heard of them doing like insane verifications. One of the big guys out here, what they'll do is they have a showroom, so they get a lot of walk-ins. They will judge people based on if their fingernails are clean or dirty. And if their fingernails are dirty, they won't rent to them.
Yeah.
It's actually good. Hey, man, I agree with that, bro. You know why? Because people that got dirty fingernails, they be doing some bullshit a lot of
And
times.
they won't take care of the car.
Yeah.
They don't take care of themselves. Why would they take care of the car?
Yeah.
So, I mean, people
point.
do like, they go to like extreme extents to really verify their
And there's
their
a
clients.
scam where girls come in to rent a car. Now, obviously speaking, if a girl's coming in to rent a car, she wants maybe like a Porsche or something like chill. But to get a Lamborghini for yourself, it's like
Red
why-
flag, right?
Yeah, it's like, why are you doing it by yourself for a Lamborghini?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a Ferrari is like, huh?
Yeah.
You know about cars?
Yeah.
I hate to say it, when females rent, it's a little bit of a red flag because I would say 50% of the time they're renting for their boyfriend who doesn't have insurance.
Yes.
And you
or
gotta be
dude,
careful.
or a PIMP
Yep.
saying, yo, go get this car for me. And
Okay.
then they rob to Georgia, and before you know it, your car's gone. That's why you
Really?
do trackers all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, my guy, Lewis, who works for me, he had to go get a car from Atlanta one time because they drove it all the way to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And he had to fly there and get that car back. Not one of my cars. He's been doing this for years.
Yeah.
He's been doing this for 7-8 years. It was the other guy he was working for. But yeah, he's has some crazy stories. Pulling up to people at warehouses, 20 stolen cars in that warehouse, including one of his. They all
Wow.
have guns, like crazy stuff.
So, okay. So we talked about once you procure the car, how to set it up for rental. How about getting the car in the first place? Should people go the financing route? Should they go the leasing route? How should they go about getting the car in the first place?
For sure. So financing is awesome because you're going to build your credit. You're going to build your history with the bank. That's what I would recommend. There's a lot of leasing companies that will give you cars for very little down, great terms and everything. They're going to be a little bit more strict when it comes to rentals, so you have to be more careful.
Obviously you don't disclose that you're going to rent it, right?
No,
Yeah.
no.
You
Even in
procure the car and get the fuck out of
even
here.
in the contracts, it states, this car is advertise for rent, gone. So we actually ran. So this is another reason why I started working with investors. We were buying cars ourselves for the first 5-6 months, because I had to build proof of concept. Nobody's just going to give me a Lamborghini to rent out.
Of course.
And we bought a Urus, $65,000 down. Bank found out we were renting the car, and they came to the SLS with a repo order.
What?
And they came here with a repo order. They said, hey, first they were being weird about it. They're like, we work for Mercy Luxury. I'm here to change a tire. And Arturo downstairs, who runs the valet, called me and said, hey, there's a guy here, says he works for Mercy. I thought somebody was trying to steal our car. I thought it was a client or somebody that heard of us, being situated out here, was trying to steal one of our Uruses. So I said, don't give him the car. And then he finally showed the repo order. And I said, do not give him the car. So he left because he couldn't get up to the garage. Called the dealer that we worked with. I said, hey, what's going on? This is a situation. They're like, oh, you guys are good. Don't worry. I'm going to talk to them on Monday. I'm going to tell them everything's good, etc. Monday comes around. We didn't rent that car for the weekend. The dealer calls the bank. Apparently, they lied. They said, oh, yeah, everything's good. Don't worry. Called us. Oh, you guys are good. Rent the car. Car goes out on a rental. Guy's eating lunch in South Beach. Tow truck comes, takes the car.
Oh, shit. They had that bitch under surveillance probably.
Yep.
Wow.
So that's an issue. Even myself now, because of my name, the name that I have in this business, bank looks into me. They're going to see rentals everywhere. My Instagram, my everything, right?
Of course,
and they do the due diligence.
Of course.
It's always, the small leasing companies always do the due diligence. The bigger banks, not too much. But it's like leasing companies are so good to work with because they'll approve you for anything. You could have 5 cars with them. Like Fresh has such a good relationship with one of the companies that he works with, that they'll approve him for anything, whenever. Whereas traditional banks, it's a lot harder. It's so credit dependent, and depending on what your debt to income ratio is, that matters a lot too. With these leasing companies, it doesn't matter. It's all relationship based.
And that concludes this insightful Money Monday episode with Myron Fresh and special guest Jaden Bloom, brought to you by Moneyclips. If you find it valuable, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube for a quick hit of knowledge. For the full-length podcast, head over to Rumble and YouTube. Subscribe now. Stay informed and keep rolling with success on the Freshandfit podcast. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Freshandfit Money Clips. Push it to the limit.